But I do wake up in the middle of the night with fucking stupid thoughts like surgeons don't need no smarts. Because I do get into deep thought as I'm trying to fall asleep. And this one came down to me and Alan were mocking the rural communities last week when we were talking about the
Wendy's?
the storming of Washington and such.
Oh yeah,
and
call it representation instead of mocking. But hey, whatever.
Okay, we were we were accurately representing Middle America and the flyover states last week, and I started to think how crafty these motherfuckers are. And how they can fix damn near anything with very limited tools. So they're not dumb. They just ain't got no smarts, so to speak. And then I started to think, like, why don't we have trade schools for surgeons? Like, why do we have to spend thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars in student loan debt to teach really smart people that are only good at chess how to fix things? Because we're really only fixing the human body. It's like this big machine. Hillbillies are great at fixing machines. Why don't we get them into a classroom with wet noodles and grape skins and have them learn how to fix people like mechanics?
Dude.
We save a shit ton of money. We don't have to pay them so much, and we can skirt the whole like knowing shit. They don't need no smarts.
I'm going to tell. This is a straight up quote, okay, from a surgeon down at Anne Arundel Medical Center when I was filming certain surgical procedures. In this case, it was a knee and hip replacement, and that's all this guy did. And he says, "Man, we've got it down to a science. It's basically like carpentry, knee and hip replacement." He's like, it's so fast and so efficient and so easy now that it's like basic carpentry. So take that for what it's worth. I don't want a carpenter. I don't want someone hanging up my drywall. Be like, God, man, my hip's a little creaky. You think you can go get a stainless steel joint and fucking pop this in there for me? Obviously, I want a sterile environment. I want an anesthesiologist and a few other safe havens if that's to be done. But it's funny you said that because that's a direct quote.
I mean, that's fair. Go ahead.
No, okay, like Jeff Gordon doesn't need to know how to fix the car. He just got to know how to drive it. So I don't need my surgeon to know anything about anatomy. Like, hey, man, I need to stay away from that red pumpy thing, right? Yes, you do, Roscoe. Don't hit the red pumpy thing. You got it. Whoop, 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 whoop. Done. Like, I need a pit crew guy. I just need a pit crew guy fixing me up. He doesn't need to know why the bolt goes one direction and not the other. He just has to know that it does. I don't need him to go to 7 years of school. I just wonder how many qualified individuals, qualified body mechanics out there that exist but don't necessarily have the book smarts to do the job. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying on the surface. I think Wes touched on a couple things, but I think number one, I don't know if you've paid attention for the last year, but the American populace has a gross misunderstanding of the microbiological world and how infectious disease operates. And then number two, which is probably the real answer to your question, is how the hell else would they be able to charge so much money if they didn't waste so much money to go to school? You get what I'm saying? There's a whole healthcare industrial complex that we're not thinking about.
Right.
But that's really what it is. But I think more so, I don't want Farmer Jim really working on me because he might get the job done. He might connect the tubes that need to be connected. Totally agree. Gotcha. Totally with you. When he closes me up and maybe gets a little dust in there, gets a little dirt, that's going to be problematic, depending on where said wound is. That's like literally how people died in wars. They would just get hit in the leg, and that's it. They're just dead. They're dead now because we can't stop infections.
I'm not saying that you drag. Alan needs a ball and hip replacement. I'm not saying we drag you down to Scooter's garage and he throws you up on the lift and he starts hacking away with a circular saw and a ball peen hammer. I'm saying you still go to a medical facility, and yes, there's still people that are there that maybe went to 7 years of school. But old Roscoe P. Coltrane, he ain't the one that has to worry about like all the the microbiological stuff that's going on in the room. He just says gloves. Somebody gloves him. Tools. Somebody tools him. All right, where's that slippy part? Right here. Okay.
This is like, I think we were having the discussion before, like right before the show. I don't even know if we were recording. I don't think we were, but Wes and I were talking about work stuff. So basically, what you're saying is, like, we've got a guy. He's like a technician. He's the lead technician out in the field. I got my project manager. My project manager is my 7 years of schooling. My project manager is like, hey man, I'm gonna need you to glove up. I'm gonna need you to get up in there, get waist deep, right around there, cut it there, attach it back, close it up, clean it up. That's important. Yeah. And make sure the customer is satisfied at the end.
You're gonna have to revamp the vocabulary, because suturing and things like that just aren't gonna ring a bell.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea, because you could save training money on things like, cadavers and certain live parts, and you could just basically roll out a bunch of Mr. Potato Heads and just use those as kind of like a training for these would-be or wannabe doctors, surgeons.
Well, I saw this. It wasn't a documentary.
Joke, by the way. None of you guys laughed. I was storing that puppy away for a couple of minutes. It's like, as soon as I get a break, I'm breaking up Potato Head. Here we go.
I'm sorry. My train of thought was right into this fucking weird-ass documentary I watched about Korean surgeons, where like these guys like go to school, but they're all pussies because all they've ever done is go to school. They've never seen a dead body. They've never seen a live body. They've never seen a body cut open. And they all want to be surgeons. So they sit them down, and they're like, they get them a bunch of like different fruits and shit, and they make them like frankenfruit them together. And they got to like be able to like suture everything together all nice and neat. And if they can't pass like this basic like skills class, then they don't become fucking surgeons in Korea. They're done. They just wasted all of their education because they don't have the finger skills and the motor skills to actually perform the procedures. So I just imagine how many of these hillbilly surgeons are out there that could do all this fine-tuning stuff. Like watchmakers could probably be better surgeons than some surgeons out there.
Yeah.
It's just they don't have they didn't go to anatomy school.
Yeah, when I was working at the University of Maryland, we in the simulation lab, we had kind of these machines that mimicked minimally invasive surgery. So like three holes. You have a camera and then the two parts. And it was basically a pegboard. So a small pegboard with these kind of rubberized parts or bits that went into the pegboard, and you had to pick them up and drop them onto another pegboard. And I was, with a lot of practice and a lot of downtime, a lot of fucking off during work, was doing like the surgeon's average in terms of time to perform that task.
Yeah, but you were able to do it because you are an athletic dude and you have good fine motor skill. And that's all it takes. You don't have to know what the shit is. Well, you don't have to know the difference between a scapula and an asshole. You just got to know where the fucking, where's the pegboard? Pegboard 1, pegboard 2. Got it.
I think a lot of this also, like, I don't know if you guys have ever cut open live things, but
wait, this took a dark turn. Continue.
They're not the same. Okay, mechanics working on fucking 2001 Honda Accord gets another 2001 Honda Accord in there. Everything's in the same spot. Fucking, unless some kind of crazy modification has happened, there's kind of a manual to it. Like, your appendix is supposed to be in this quadrant, but it might not be.
He merged the front of a Pontiac Fiero with the back of a Chevy Monte Carlo. Don't tell me they don't know how to figure out where things are when they ain't in the fucking right spot.
Again, this is the Mr. Potato Head thing. The nose can go in the ear, and the arms can go in the legs holes. You could do it.
If it was that simplistic, we'd be able to like transplant whole fucking halves of bodies, and we can't do that. Like, we haven't figured that one out yet.
They never let me have
hands and shit.
We haven't got enough Jim Bobs and Ray Rays up in there to.
We can definitely barely do hands, and I understand hands are complex, but we're talking about whole half of a car to another half of a car. I mean, sure, I would love horse legs but we're not there yet.
Right.
So I would love to be a Minotaur, but we're not there yet. So
that thing wouldn't pass. That thing wouldn't pass inspection anyway. I don't know what state it was done in. It's probably illegal as fuck.
yeah.
Here's the thing, man. I know a guy. He'll pass it right on through. You just got to slip him $50 and a bottle of Jack.
It's good with the VIN numbers. Good with trickery.